All right, as you might expect, millions of people are bracing for this and what it may bring: lethal storm surges, ferocious winds, and potential tornadoes as Hurricane Milton barrels its way toward Florida. The National Hurricane Center is warning that the storm will be life-threatening and devastating to part of the state's west coast. Milton already has forced mass evacuations and some gas shortages as people prepare to hunker down or flee for safety.
I live close to the water, and I have a lot of sliding doors that I want to get prepared for because I am worried about flooding. I'm in a flood zone.
We want to evacuate probably in the next couple hours. We're going inland. I guess we're prepared to sit in the traffic.
They say it's going to be biblical, so we were going to stay, but I don't want to take the chance because of the bridges also. Once they're covered, you can't get out.
I want you to take a look at this. It's how huge Hurricane Milton is, as seen from the International Space Station just yesterday. It's covering much of the Gulf of Mexico. Milton is currently swirling as a Category 5 storm. That means it has winds up to 160 miles per hour. Now, it may weaken in strength, but it will still be serious when it makes landfall. It's expected to double in size, in fact, before that happens late tonight or early Thursday as a Category 3 storm. Our Tom Hanson is following this story for us from Daytona Beach, Florida, and he joins us now. Tom, we want you and the crew to be safe as you ride this out, but it's important we get this information out to everyone. Talk to us about the evacuation orders and how many people actually listen to them.
Hey there, Errol. Well, if you can hear behind me, you can't necessarily see the waves, but you can hear that the chop and the surf is intensifying, and that has officials concerned here as we await this storm to come our way. Now, when the storm does reach Daytona Beach, it is going to significantly decrease in strength, or at least that's what the projections say, from potentially a Category 3 when it makes landfall all the way down to a Category 1. However, officials are taking this super seriously. Here in Volusia County, where Daytona Beach is, they have already issued a mandatory evacuation. The county to our north, they are also issuing a mandatory evacuation. Both of those are set to begin in 1 hour, 8 a.m. That is when officials want people to get out of here. Now, it will be something to look closely for when this storm comes this way, whether it goes north or south of Daytona Beach or hits head on, because that will directly impact just how significant the storm surge is when it reaches the eastern coast of Florida, Errol.
Know that you spent some time yesterday inland. You've been driving across the state from the Gulf area, the coastline, and other spots, and we're seeing reports of fuel shortages. What can you tell us about what you saw?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday we started in Sarasota, I should say, on the western side of Florida, and we actually followed essentially a caravan of evacuees weaving their way through the state, trying to get out of the path of the storm. And I gotta say, it was eerie driving through certain communities where you were expecting to see traffic. One community that we drove through, 6 lanes on the highway, not a single car, or maybe 1 or 2 cars as we were going along. One of the things that really jumped out was the crush of people trying to get gas. It was gas station after gas station after gas station in certain communities where the pumps had run out and there were plastic bags over the pumps. We did find one gas station about halfway coming into Orlando, a Wawa station that had a really organized means of getting through to people to get them gas. But the line stretched around the block as far as the eye could see. And when we left that Wawa station, they informed the customers there that they had run out of gas. So that is certainly something that's on front of mind for so many Floridians, Errol, as they brace for this monster storm.
Tom Hanson in Daytona Beach, Florida, for us with the up-to-the-minute information. Tom, we appreciate the update. We'll continue to check in with you throughout the day. For more now, I want to bring in Sandra Tapfumaneyi. She is the Emergency Management Chief of Sarasota County. That's expected to be directly in the bullseye, so to speak, of this storm. Give us an update on perhaps the fuel situation where you are and how many people have evacuated and are hunkering down in shelters.
Yeah, good morning. So thank you so much for having us on. Yeah, so our fuel situation right now, we have gotten reports that there are some stations still left with fuel. So if anybody does need to fill up before they evacuate, this would be the time to go. There is not much time left though. So we are expecting these tropical storm force winds to start right around mid-afternoon. So if people are leaving, now is the time to take action.
The added layer of danger to this is debris left from Helene. How successful, as far as you can tell, were cleanup efforts, and how concerned are you that, this debris at any speed being caught by wind could be deadly?
Yeah, well, we're very concerned about the debris. I mean, normally after you have a hurricane, a disaster, you have months, if not years, before your next disaster. So you have plenty of time to pick up debris from that storm. This situation in Sarasota County, we had Helene just 2 weeks ago. And so we had literally just a couple of days to clean up as much as possible. So the county, all of our municipalities, we've been working very hard to try to pick up as much as possible. Even as late as yesterday, we were going around with teams of people trying to pick up and get things to the landfill. And we've heard some great stories about neighbors helping neighbors, getting pickup trucks and going around and trying to get some of the debris out of the way. But we do know that this is going to be a challenge for us, an added challenge on top of everything else that we expect to come with a storm.
And I just want to emphasize what you said there about neighbors helping neighbors. People can get panicked, they can get frustrated, and at a moment like this, you want to cooperate with the folks that are with you as much as possible. And Sandra, I'm wondering, from your perspective as an emergency official who has to stay and ride this out, what are you and what is your family doing?
Yes, well, thank you for asking. So, my family, I evacuated them over to the east coast of Florida. When you have to work a disaster, it's hard to stay focused if you're not sure whether your own family is going to be safe. So I just, I speak to all of our residents today because as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, I want everyone to be safe. I understand that some people are hesitant to evacuate, but when you have loved ones that you're thinking about and you want to protect yourselves and your loved ones, it is not worth staying in a place that is dangerous. We have evacuated levels A, B, and C. Anyone living in mobile and manufactured homes, anyone living in a boat, and now is the time to leave if they haven't done that already. 15 feet of storm surge is incredibly dangerous. And we do not want anybody to be in the way of that storm surge. But we also have high winds. We have rain to contend with, up to 18 inches. This is going to be a serious storm for Sarasota County.
Yeah, I'm appreciative of your time at an urgent situation like this. And Sandra, Tapfumaneyi, our thoughts are with you, and we wish you the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
David Yeomans is tracking Milton for us this morning. He's a CBS News meteorologist and a hurricane expert. David, how serious is this based on all the storms you've seen, and what can people expect?
Well, Errol, this is likely to be the most significant, strongest hurricane that anyone living in West Central Florida has ever experienced. Not like Charlie, not like Ian, stronger and in a slightly different area. Anyone who has chosen to stay behind and weather the storm will lose access to 911 rescue, as even first responders will not go out in the height of a storm of this magnitude. And anyone staying behind can expect to lose power for days or weeks behind this storm. Let's get you caught up on the latest on this system on the satellite picture. Notice it is still a terrifying looking Category 5 storm. We're starting to see a little bit of wind shear trying to disrupt the system's organization now, but officially it has not yet weakened at all. Category 5 winds 160 miles per hour. It's just 300 miles away from Tampa and closing the gap quickly. We do not expect a Category 5 to make landfall, but the official forecast is now for a Category 4, the strongest to hit the Tampa Bay area in at least 100 years. 130-mile-per-hour winds, the most likely track into Tampa Bay or somewhere just south of there. It'll maintain hurricane intensity on its quick trip across the skinny Florida peninsula and then be out to sea and no longer be a threat to any of the U.S. Storm surge is a huge concern, just like we saw with Helene a little farther up the coast of Florida. This one down toward Tampa, though, 10 to 15 feet. That ocean level rise could be twice what Tampa Bay saw in Helene. That was a 7-foot ocean level rise. This could be the highest that they have ever experienced, with records dating back to the 1840s. Let's talk about the wind gusts. It's already breezy with rain picking up in Florida as the center of the storm approaches quickly. By 2 p.m., tropical storm force winds take over the Tampa area, over 39 miles per hour, and things only get worse from there. This is why your preparations need to be rushed to completion. Overnight tonight, hurricane force winds in Tampa, stronger winds near the core with gusts certainly over 110 miles per hour. By early tomorrow morning, hurricane force winds possible in Orlando, along the coast as well. Coming up a little bit later this morning, we'll talk about the inland flooding threat. Up to 18 inches of rain possible, Errol, the same high-risk flood that we saw in North Carolina, unfortunately, from Helene.
And if you're anywhere near Tampa, get a battery-powered radio. It will help you in the aftermath of all this, David. Very serious stuff. We appreciate the warnings.